Amara stood in the corner of the grand ballroom, surrounded by gold lights, expensive perfumes, and the sound of polite laughter. It was Nathan's birthday dinner, a night filled with famous guests, cameras, and the perfect image of a powerful family. Everyone looked flawless. Everyone except her. She had planned every detail of the event, from the flowers to the lighting. Yet no one knew. That was how Nathan liked it. She was the quiet helper, the sister who stayed out of the spotlight. Amara smiled politely as waiters passed by, her discomfort hidden behind calm eyes. A well-dressed guest approached her and said kindly, "You did an incredible job with this dinner." Before she could even thank him, Nathan's voice cut through the air like a knife. "Amara," he said loudly, smirking. "Oh, she only sets tables. She doesn't build empires." Laughter rippled across the table. Uneasy, forced, cruel. The guest looked embarrassed. Amara froze, her cheeks burning. She tried to smile, but inside her heart sank. She had heard worse before, but tonight, something in her shifted. As the night went on, Nathan soaked in attention, posing for photos and making toasts. Amara stood by the wall, unseen, unheard. She whispered a quick goodbye to one of the waiters and quietly tried to slip out. But Nathan noticed. "Where are you going?" he demanded loudly. The music stopped. Heads turned. "I just need some air," she said softly. Nathan stormed over, grabbing her arm. Cameras flashed as he shouted, "You're ungrateful. You can't even stay for your brother's big night? Always making things about you." Gasps filled the room. No one moved, not even their mother. Amara's face burned with shame. She tried to pull away, but he dragged her toward the exit. Every step felt heavier, every flash of the camera sharper. When the doors finally closed behind her, she stood alone in the hallway, trembling. The laughter and music faded inside, replaced by silence. Her tears fell quietly, but there was no anger this time, only clarity. That night, as she looked at herself in the mirror, she whispered the words she had been too afraid to say for years. No more. It was the last time she would ever let Nathan control her. Amara grew up in a family where image mattered more than love. Everything was about how things looked, the right clothes, the perfect smiles, and what people would say. Her father had been the only one who truly saw her, but when he died suddenly, everything changed. Nathan, her older brother, became the head of the family, and he took that power far too seriously. From a young age, Amara was told to stay quiet. "Don't argue," Nathan would say. "You're too emotional." Her mother, Lillian, often agreed. "Good girls don't talk back," she'd add with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Over time, Amara learned to hide her feelings behind calm silence. She stopped expecting kindness from her family and started building her strength in private. When she turned 24, Amara decided to make something of her own. Without using the Daniels name, she started a small event planning business called Bloom and Grace. At first, no one believed in her. Nathan said it was a cute hobby, and her mother worried it would look bad if she failed. But Amara worked hard. She spent long nights designing, organizing, and managing clients until her business slowly began to shine. Soon, her name appeared in magazines, and powerful clients began to call her, not Nathan. That's when the trouble began. Nathan's pride couldn't handle it. He started making comments at family gatherings like, "Amara's lucky people feel sorry for her," or "She should remember whose money raised her." Every success she achieved only made him colder. Her mother didn't help either. Lillian loved appearances too much to ever stand against Nathan. When people praised Amara, Lillian would say, "Nathan helped her with advice," even when he hadn't. She'd tell Amara to be humble and keep family first, which really meant, don't outshine your brother. Amara stayed patient. She kept attending the family dinners, the business events, the photo shoots where she had to stand behind Nathan and smile like everything was perfect. Sometimes, she'd sit in her car afterward and cry quietly before driving home. She didn't hate her family. She just hated the way they made her feel. Invisible, small, and replaceable. But there were also moments that showed her strength. In her apartment, Amara kept her father's old journal. The pages were filled with small notes about family, life, and dreams. One line always stayed with her. "The quiet ones rebuild what pride destroys." Whenever Nathan humiliated her or Lillian ignored her pain, she'd open that journal and read those words again. They reminded her who she really was. Not the weak, emotional girl they claimed, but someone capable of rebuilding herself again and again. There were flashbacks that played in her mind often, memories that shaped her heart. She remembered helping Nathan host their first family charity dinner. She had done all the planning, but he took the credit. When she gently pointed it out, he laughed and said, "You're just better at following orders." The guests laughed too, and her mother smiled awkwardly as if pretending nothing happened. That night, Amara cried in her room, but she still helped clean up the next morning. Then there were the phone calls, Lillian gossiping with her friends about how Amara doesn't understand family duty, or how she should be more grateful. Amara learned to let the words pass through her like smoke. Years later, even after becoming successful, she never got full recognition. Nathan often asked her to help plan his company events, but he never paid her or gave her credit. She did it to keep the peace, but deep inside, something in her was changing. The more she stayed silent, the heavier that silence felt. Her friends saw the truth. Her best friend Tola once told her, "You keep protecting people who don't even see you, Amara." But Amara only smiled and said, "They're my family." It was both an excuse and a promise, one she was slowly realizing she could no longer keep. Behind her gentle nature was quiet strength. She was tired of pretending, tired of being the shadow behind Nathan's light. Every insult, every stolen moment of credit, became a small fire inside her. By the time of Nathan's grand birthday dinner, Amara wasn't the same woman she used to be. She was still quiet, yes, but now her silence had power. She had learned that calm didn't mean weak, and though she didn't know it yet, that night, the night Nathan dragged her out of the hall, would be the one that changed everything. The morning after the dinner humiliation, Amara woke up to hundreds of messages on her phone. Her name was everywhere. Someone at the party had recorded the moment Nathan grabbed her arm and dragged her out. The video had gone viral overnight. People were sharing it with captions like "The Daniels dinner drama" and "Powerful family meltdown." Amara stared at the screen, feeling her stomach twist. She hadn't even said a word in that video, yet everyone had an opinion. Some felt sorry for her, others defended Nathan, saying it must have been a misunderstanding. News outlets started calling it a family dispute caught on camera. She turned off her phone and sat in silence, her hands trembling slightly. By afternoon, Nathan called. His voice was cold, sharp, and full of anger. "What did you do, Amara?" he shouted. "You've embarrassed the entire family. Do you have any idea what people are saying about me?" "I didn't post the video," she said quietly. "Someone else did." "It doesn't matter who did," Nathan snapped. "You're the reason this happened. You should have stayed at the dinner, smiled for the cameras, and kept quiet. But no, you had to ruin everything." Amara closed her eyes, her throat tight. "I didn't ruin anything, Nathan. You did that yourself." There was a long pause. Then he said, "You'll post an apology. Today. You'll tell everyone it was a misunderstanding, and that you're sorry for overreacting." Her chest rose and fell slowly. "No," she said. That one word shocked even her. It wasn't loud, but it carried years of silence breaking at once. "What did you just say?" Nathan demanded. "I said no," Amara repeated firmly. "I won't lie to protect your image anymore." For a moment, there was only silence on the line. Then Nathan's voice turned icy. "Fine. Don't say I didn't warn you." He hung up. Within hours, Amara started noticing strange things. Her bank account access was blocked. The small trust fund her father had left was suddenly frozen. A few of her business partners called to say they were reconsidering future projects. One of them whispered over the phone, "Nathan told us you're unstable, Amara." "I'm sorry." Her chest ached, but she didn't cry. Not this time. She went to her office, sat at her desk, and opened her father's journal again. The same sentence stared back at her. "The quiet ones rebuild what pride destroys." She smiled faintly. Instead of reacting, she stayed calm. Nathan expected her to fight loudly, to shout or beg, but Amara didn't plan to do either. She understood that his anger came from fear of losing control. In the days that followed, social media didn't quiet down. More people began defending her, calling Nathan's behavior abusive and controlling. Yet Amara stayed silent. She didn't post a thing. Her silence made people curious, and that curiosity slowly turned into respect. Lillian, their mother, called her next. "Amara, please," she said, her tone soft but heavy with pressure. You're making this worse. Your brother is trying to protect the family name. By lying? Amara asked. By keeping peace, Lillian replied quickly. You should apologize before things go too far. Amara felt her heart break again, not from anger, but from disappointment. Her mother would always choose image over truth. I can't do that anymore, Mom, she said gently. I'm done pretending. Lillian sighed. You sound just like your father. And then she hung up. Amara sat back and stared out the window. The city lights flickered far below. But her mind was clear for the first time in years. She realized she didn't need to fight Nathan on his terms. She didn't want revenge. She wanted freedom. Every cruel word, every humiliation, every moment she'd been silenced was now fuel. She began collecting documents, saving emails, and quietly reaching out to people who might know more about Nathan's business. She wasn't sure what she would find, but she knew one thing for certain. This time, she wasn't going to let fear stop her. Nathan thought cutting her off would end her. He didn't know it had only just begun to make her stronger. That no, she spoke had lit a fire inside her, a spark that would soon change everything. Nathan's influence begins to crumble. The shine around his name starts to fade as the video and the rumors refuse to die down. People who once admired him begin to whisper. Business partners start asking questions. Some even cancel meetings, pretending to be busy. Amara watches all of this quietly. On the outside, her silence looks like guilt. People assume she's ashamed or afraid. But inside, she's working. She's calm, focused, and watching Nathan's world slowly shake. She starts digging into his company's records, looking through old files, emails, and financial documents that she still has access to. It doesn't take long before she notices things that don't add up. Missing money, strange transactions, and family funds used for private deals. Every night, she writes notes, takes screenshots, and saves files. Her heart beats fast, not from fear but from purpose. For the first time, she's not reacting, she's preparing. But the pressure around her grows heavier. Lillian calls almost every day, sounding more desperate each time. Amara, you need to fix this, her mother pleads. You're tearing the family apart. Your brother is under stress. People are talking. I didn't do anything wrong, Mom, Amara says quietly. You're making this worse with your silence. Just talk to Nathan, apologize, and we can end all this drama, Lillian insists. Amara closes her eyes. So I should lie again? Pretend everything is fine. Her mother sighs, voice trembling. Sometimes keeping peace is more important than being right. Remember who raised you. That last sentence cuts deep. Lillian doesn't realize how much it hurts to hear that. How much Amara has sacrificed just to keep her mother's love. She hangs up the phone and sits in the dark, torn between the daughter she has always been and the woman she is becoming. Her best friend Tola visits her one evening, holding 2 cups of tea. You're awfully quiet these days, Tola says, sitting beside her. I don't know what to do, Amara admits softly. If I speak up, they'll call me bitter. They'll say I'm trying to destroy my brother. Tola looks at her firmly. And if you stay silent, he'll keep destroying you. You've been quiet your whole life, Amara. Maybe it's time to stop protecting people who hurt you. Those words stay with her long after Tola leaves. Amara knows her friend is right, yet the fear of being misunderstood still grips her heart. She's tired of being seen as the problem whenever she stands up for herself. A few days later, she gets an unexpected message from David, one of Nathan's business partners. He asks to meet privately. Amara hesitates but agrees. They meet in a quiet cafe on the edge of the city, away from the noise. David looks uneasy. I shouldn't even be here, he says, glancing around. But you need to know the truth. Amara frowns. About what? About the trust fund, he says quietly. Your father's estate. Nathan forged your signature years ago. You were supposed to be co-owner, but he changed the documents. I found copies during an audit. For a moment, Amara can't speak. Her breath catches in her throat. He forged my name, she whispers. David nods. Yes. He said it was for simplicity, that you agreed to let him manage it. I didn't question it then. But now, after everything that's happened, I think you should see the truth. He slides a folder across the table. Inside are photocopies of the original papers. Her name, her father's signature, and the forged one pretending to be hers. The evidence is clear. Amara stares at the pages, her hands shaking. A mix of anger, sadness, and betrayal fills her chest. Her brother hadn't just humiliated her. He had stolen from her. He had taken their father's trust and twisted it for his own greed. She thanks David quietly and walks home in silence. The night air feels heavy, but her mind is sharper than ever. For years, she had believed that love meant loyalty. Now she realizes that sometimes love also means truth, even when it hurts. That night, she opens her father's journal again. Her eyes fall on a familiar line. You don't destroy a family by telling the truth. You destroy it by hiding it. Tears fill her eyes, but she wipes them quickly. She's done crying. The next morning, Lillian comes to visit. She looks tired, older somehow, her perfect image cracking under stress. Amara, she begins softly. I just spoke to Nathan. He's falling apart. Please stop this. He's your brother. Amara keeps her tone calm. I didn't do anything, Mom. He did. Lillian shakes her head, tears forming. Your brother is all you have left. Amara looks at her mother for a long moment, then replies quietly. Then maybe I have nothing. The words hang in the air like a wound neither of them can heal. Lillian's lips tremble. You sound so cold. I sound free, Amara answers. Lillian leaves without another word. The door closes and Amara finally exhales. She feels both empty and strong, like a storm has passed through her, clearing away everything fake. In the following days, Amara keeps gathering proof. She contacts her lawyer, organizes the documents, and prepares for the moment the truth will finally come out. Nathan still thinks she's defeated, still thinks silence means weakness. But Amara's silence is different now. It's not the silence of fear. It's the silence of someone who knows exactly when and how to speak. Her world may have been torn apart, but from the cracks, something new is beginning to grow courage. And deep inside, she knows the time to reveal the truth is coming soon. Nathan hosts a grand press event to clear the family name. The hall is filled with reporters, cameras, and flashing lights. Expensive decorations surround the stage, and a huge banner behind him reads, "The Daniels Legacy, Family and Integrity." He walks up to the microphone, smiling confidently, as though nothing in his world has ever gone wrong. Reporters murmur, waiting for answers about the viral video and the growing rumors about the family's business. Nathan raises his hand to quiet them. Thank you all for coming, he says smoothly. There have been a lot of lies spreading lately. I want to clear the air, for the sake of my family. He glances at his mother, Lillian, sitting in the front row. She forces a smile, her hands trembling slightly. Nathan continues, his tone steady and rehearsed. My sister, Amara, has been going through emotional challenges since our father's death. She's always been fragile, and the recent incident was unfortunate. We love her deeply, and we just want her to get help. Gasps ripple through the audience. The words emotionally unstable echo across the room. Nathan looks sad, perfectly staged sadness. Cameras zoom in on his face, capturing his fake concern. But then, the doors at the back of the hall open. The sound of heels clicks against the marble floor. Heads turn. Amara walks in. Calm. Graceful. Her white suit catches the light as if she belongs right there. In her hand, she carries a brown envelope, thick and sealed. The crowd begins whispering. Nathan's smile fades. Amara, he says tightly, this isn't the time. But she doesn't stop walking until she stands beside him on stage. It's the perfect time, she says softly into the microphone. The room falls silent. For years, Amara begins, I stayed quiet to protect a family image built on lies, but silence doesn't heal what pride destroys. Her voice is calm but full of strength. She holds up the envelope. You said I was unstable, Nathan. But what's unstable is your story, and your accounts. Gasps spread through the reporters. Cameras click faster. Nathan's jaw tightens. Amara, enough. No, she says firmly, eyes steady. Not this time. She opens the envelope and begins laying out papers on the podium. These are copies of bank records showing money taken from the family trust, money that was never reported. And these, she lifts another set of documents, show my forged signature on trust documents. David, your partner, confirmed it. Murmurs ripple through the room. A reporter shouts, Are these real? Another flashes their camera. Amara continues, her voice steady. My father trusted both of us to protect this family. Before he died, he wrote a letter, one Nathan hid from everyone. In that letter, my father clearly stated that I was to be co-custodian of the estate. He believed in fairness, not control. She pulls out the letter, yellowed with age but clearly signed. She holds it up for everyone to see. This is my father's handwriting. His lawyer verified it. Lillian's face goes pale. She covers her mouth, whispering, "Oh my God." Nathan's mask cracks completely. His voice rises, shaking. "You think people will believe this? You're lying. You always wanted to destroy me. But no one listens. The reporters are recording everything." Security guards exchange looks. The cameras catch Nathan's red face, the sweat on his forehead, the anger spilling out. Amara doesn't raise her voice. She just looks at him and says quietly, "You destroyed yourself, Nathan. All I did was stop hiding it." Lillian stands slowly, tears running down her cheeks. "Is this true?" she asks her son in a broken voice. Nathan avoids her eyes. "Mom, I did it for us. For the family name." "For the family name?" she repeats, shaking her head. "You ruined everything your father built." Her voice cracks and she sinks back into her chair. The crowd watches, silent, as Lillian's perfect image finally falls apart. Reporters start shouting questions. "Mr. Daniels, do you deny forging your sister's signature? Did you misuse family funds?" Nathan snaps, shouting at the reporters. "This is a setup. She's jealous. She's always been jealous. But it's too late." Two men in dark suits, corporate investigators, step forward from the crowd. One of them speaks calmly. "Mr. Daniels, we'd like you to come with us for questioning regarding the documents Miss Daniels just presented." The cameras follow as Nathan is escorted off stage, shouting angrily. Every flash, every click, captures the fall of the man who once mocked his sister in public. Amara stands still, breathing deeply. The same way she stood that night at his birthday dinner. But this time she isn't silent. She has spoken her truth. As the reporters turn toward her, someone asks softly, "How do you feel, Miss Daniels?" Amara looks out at the flashing lights and says, "Relieved. I spent years thinking silence kept peace, but sometimes silence just feeds pride. My father believed in honesty. Today I honored that." Lillian looks up at her daughter, eyes full of regret. She whispers, "I'm sorry." Amara nods gently but says nothing more. As the room slowly clears and the noise fades, Amara stands alone at the podium. The same cameras that once captured her humiliation now capture her victory. Not one born from revenge, but from courage. It is poetic justice. The same public humiliation Nathan gave her has now returned to him. Only this time, it came with truth, not cruelty. And for the first time in years, Amara finally feels free. Weeks later, Amara begins to rebuild her life. Her story spreads online. People call her the girl who said no. What started as a moment of pain has turned into a movement of courage. Women from everywhere write to her, thanking her for showing them that it's okay to stand up for themselves. Amara uses part of her inheritance to start a small foundation that helps young women start their own businesses. She calls it the Rebuild Project, a name inspired by her father's words. The quiet ones rebuild what pride destroys. Every time she mentors someone, she feels a little piece of herself healing too. Nathan's empire begins to collapse. His partners leave him, and the media now shows his corruption instead of his charm. The authorities start investigating his forged documents and shady business deals. For the first time, Nathan faces the consequences of his actions. Lillian stays mostly out of sight. She avoids the media and spends her days alone in the big, silent house. Sometimes she calls Amara, not to control her, but just to ask how she's doing. There's regret in her voice now. A mother realizing too late that her daughter only ever wanted love, not approval. Amara's life feels peaceful for the first time in years. She works from a small, sunlit office filled with plants, laughter, and the sound of young women planning their futures. No more walking on eggshells. No more pretending. One afternoon, she visits her father's grave. She kneels beside it and places his old journal on the ground. The same journal that gave her courage when she was at her lowest. She touches the stone and whispers softly, "I kept your promise, Dad. I rebuilt." As she stands up, the wind moves through the trees. Her voice plays softly in the background, the closing line of her story. Sometimes, peace begins when silence ends. The screen fades to light, not darkness, showing that her story isn't about revenge but rebirth. At a small dinner with a few close friends, Amara laughs freely for the first time in a long while. The table is filled with warm light, quiet music, and the sound of real joy, not the forced smile she used to wear at family events. Tola leans closer and asks gently, "Do you ever miss them?" Amara pauses for a moment, her smile fading into something softer. "I don't miss the house," she says quietly. "I miss what I thought it was." Her friends exchange a look, a mix of sadness and pride. They know how hard it was for her to let go, how much she had to lose to find herself again. As the night goes on, laughter returns. Someone makes a toast to new beginnings, and Amara raises her glass with a calm, peaceful smile. She finally feels free, not from her family, but from their control over her heart. Her phone buzzes on the table. The screen lights up with an unknown number. She looks at it for a second, her eyes reflecting both memory and peace. Then she smiles, that quiet, knowing smile, and turns the phone off. The camera lingers on her face as she looks out the window, the city lights glowing behind her. Her voice plays softly in the background. You don't always win by fighting louder. Sometimes, you win by finally walking away. Fade out. Busties. Sparkling Heart, thank you so much for watching till the end. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more emotional dramas every week. See you in the next one. Bye. Waving Hand Sparkles.